All right, everyone, welcome to Out and About. We are going to be doing a surviving recap with John Feidelberg and myself and Kelly in the second half of the show because I was eliminated, as was John, so we're going to catch up on all that. But first, we are going to talk about the biggest story here at Barstool Sports, which is the attack in the lobby. Dan is still in the hospital as a security guard. Gia was involved, who's a good friend with Kelly. And then Rone was involved.
Why'd you say good friend with Kelly like she's not your friend?
Good friends with Kelly.
Well, Gia's my girl. That's my co-host of Taylor Watch. We're very close.
Do we want to watch the clip first before we get into it? Because you had gotten sucked into this, and now Kelly has a beef with
I think there needs to be a little bit of setup. We haven't discussed this at all yet. Yesterday, or Monday, there was an attack in our office.
Beautiful earrings, by the way.
Oh, don't try
hey,
to butter me up before this.
Let's watch the clip. We're going to play the clip so people at home can see what happened.
Tell them what happened. Tell them what's going on first.
We will, after the clip.
Okay, fine.
Hey, stop! 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 Bro, stop! Stop! Oh my God, stop! Stop! Call 911. Hey, stop! 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 Stop it! Stop!
All right, I'll keep it. He did it first. You know what?
He did not do anything first. What the fuck is your problem?
So we had an Uber driver, an unruly Uber driver, a miscommunication as to where the drop-off point was, and this man ended up coming up into our second floor lobby where most delivery men come, and instead of leaving food for Gia, who was waiting to collect her food, he was holding it in his hands and about to leave the premises with the food. Gia went out there and was like, hey, that's my food, that's my name on it, what are you doing? They get into a little bit of a tiff. Security guard Dan comes out to see what the hell is going on. This guy is still kind of going back and forth. I don't even know. I don't know what he was saying in that moment, but they were arguing. And then the guy threw the Chick-fil-A, whatever it's called, iced tea all over the both of them, and then Dan reached in and went to go keep him from like quickly leaving on the elevator, and then the guy lunged forward, head-butted Dan, and then beat the shit out of Dan. There was in that vestibule of the elevators was Gia and also another girl, Natalie, who works upstairs, and she kind of arrived accidentally. She came up on another elevator and into this scene, and Gia starts
she opens the elevator,
which is crazy.
That's
if you see it on the video, it's actually nuts. But then so Gia starts yelling, stop. The glass doors are still closed, so we weren't really sure what was going on. We thought maybe there was a bit happening. Gia's yelling, call 911. Natalie starts calling 911. Then Gaz, Cody, Travi show up to save the day, pull this man off of Dan, our guy, who is still currently in the hospital, but he's on the mend. Do you guys think that's a pretty good?
He has a punctured lung.
Yes,
That's
he has a collapsed lung. It's a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
And a cracked rib.
Yes.
And
stitches on his face.
The
whole thing happened very fast, and I think what has since happened is that there was some exchange back and forth between you and Rone because you talked about.
Before we get into that,
we've not spoken at all. I've not spoken to Rone yet.
Well, we talked on the apartment yesterday about something different, about the Harry Potter stuff.
Oh yeah, that has nothing to do with
this.
Yeah,
but I thought you said we hadn't spoken.
Not about this. Sorry, not about this.
But just real quick, I was on Rone.com this morning. I was trying to raise money for Dan to try and get him to Japan.
Yes.
He was supposed to be going to Japan.
Let's put Rone's Venmo. I'm going to put on the screen.
Yes,
right
yes,
here.
yes.
So we've raised
Right
$3,776 so far. So
Yes.
anybody who's watching this, that's obviously a shitty situation. Dan is in the hospital, so I always think that with a shitty situation, there should be something good that comes with it.
Of course.
So he won some money from Dave yesterday, and hopefully we can help supplement his trip to Japan. He was supposed to go this summer, wasn't able to go. So if people want to donate to Dan for doing his job, if it's not within your means, that's fine. I understand that. If you do feel like you appreciate Dan, what he did, or the situation, Venmo is on the screen.
Venmo's on the screen.
Adam
I'll try and put a
Dash
QR code up too, so you might just be able to take a picture of it. Like
Awesome.
the QR
That's
code.
nice.
Yeah, perfect.
Dan's a great guy. The security guards here are fucking incredible.
Yes.
And what's happened
Totally
since,
agree.
and I don't want to jump too far ahead. Let me just say this. I am down the middle on this. I don't understand how you guys are mad at each other and have this huge difference of opinion with what happened, because it seems like Rone was cracking a couple jokes on Son of a Boy Dad, which we do here, about Gia filming him in the lobby, and you took umbrage with that.
So that's like the minimum amount of information for this. So my problem with the entire
let's hear
thing,
your side.
I'll let you know what's going on here. So the situation at hand was very stressful and very upsetting. And I understand that when Dave tweets out a video of an event, then it becomes a topic of conversation for the entire office. Obviously, it's content now. It's fodder for whatever opinions you want to have on the entire thing. I didn't know that you guys had talked about it on Son of a Boy Dad until yesterday, like I would say, noonish or whatever, when Francis came around trying to check the pulse on people. And you know that Francis does that, where he'll come down all of a sudden, he's chopping it up with everybody because he's trying to see if anybody's mad at him for things that he's said online, which is just like a thing Francis does. So he's like, checking the vibe and everything. And I'm not really having it. He had said some other stuff that was a little out of pocket that I didn't agree with. And so we were going back and forth about that. And then he left the conversation, wanted to talk about it later. I ignored all of his phone calls last night because he did.
Okay.
He called
What
me like 7:30 or something.
Right, that's fair.
The day before, he had called me at 1 a.m. after I had asked him to call me about something that he had said, and I was asleep already. So that's a separate conversation, which is why we had the conversation in office that did turn into a bitch out.
You were hanging upside down from your branch.
I was already strung up.
Yes, you were already strung up.
My
when he
wings
called
were
out.
closed. My wings were closed.
Yeah.
But so he wanted to call, whatever. In between us having a conversation in the office and him trying to call me on the phone, a clip from Son of a Boy Dad came out of you guys discussing the event at hand, and it was Sass making a joke at Gia's expense, being like, you're dying on the ground by this guy. You look up, you see Gia filming, and you got to think like this is the end. Okay, I understand. It's a joke.
That's funny.
I understand it's a joke. The problem is that from the second Son of a Boy Dad came out yesterday, and I didn't know that this was like the catalyst, Gia started getting an unprecedented amount of hate, blame for Dan being in the hospital, blame for the event happening entirely, called lazy, called this, called that, and then you guys I went back and I watched the entire episode because I was like, clearly this must be out of context, whatever. And it was something that I would like to now describe and maybe enter the lexicon. It was an insult sandwich of a conversation directed towards Gia.
What do you mean?
You guys started out first, and you brought it up first, which is, again, this is a fine conversation, but Francis is talking about Sophie Cunningham. Gia doesn't like her, thinks she's an asshole. So the exchange that they had in the office, she was like, ew, Francis, she sucks. That was the extent of the conversation. So I don't know why you then brought that up, being like, doesn't somebody have a problem with it? You were like egging Francis on to like bring up Gia.
Well, I think multiple people said stuff to Francis. I think
I was sitting right there. I was in the conversation.
Yeah, you said something to him about.
I explained why. I was like, people don't like Sophie because she's a polarizing person. She has polarizing thoughts on people, whatever. Francis said, I had no idea, and I actually don't like that. That's what Francis said. So he left that entire part out of, because he's a grifter on your podcast now, people are saying. So that's just
Who's
a separate
saying
thing.
that?
What does that mean?
The streets are saying that Francis is grifting on Son of a Boy
Grift?
Dad. The grift is that he's trying to appeal to whatever audience that isn't his own. He's not being genuine.
So just walk me through that, because I'm not like exactly.
He's
picking
like,
up,
I want to date Sophie Cunningham because he wants like the people that like Sophie Cunningham to like him. When in
but-
reality, he doesn't actually
So you're
like
saying
or
that
agree
like
with her
because he
based on
wants
what he said.
her political audience to agree with him?
Yes, I think
Oh, I
that's.
don't
I
think
think
that
that's
he's
what
aware
the
of that.
streets are saying. No, he's aware. He's aware. We told him.
Oh, but I'm saying like when he first said I want to date her. I don't think that he was aware of her background.
He wasn't. But then we told him about her background, and he said, "Oh no, I don't want anything to do with that." And then he went back on Boy Dad and mentioned only that Gia was upset and ripping him apart, and made it look like Gia was some like libtard white knight for whatever, which wasn't the case.
I think that's reading into it a little bit.
I don't think it is, Ron. And so that started
that's
off
a difference in opinion.
For sure. So that started off the conversation. Then you kind of lead into this whole your opinions on the fight and your opinions on everything happening. You're watching the footage in real time.
Right.
And that's where I started like getting a little annoyed with how you were talking about.
I see that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because I just don't know how you can watch it back and not see how incredibly fucking shady it is towards Gia. And it's not only are you guys like, you're talking about how this guy comes in, you're like, Dan, that's crazy. First you kind of shit on Dan. You're like, if I'm Dan, I don't want that video out. He's getting his ass beat. That's fine. Dan's still in the hospital. Like shit is still going on. Like there's no need to pile on Dan either. So that's one thing. Then Sass is talking out of his ass. He's like, I saw that guy downstairs and he didn't look happy to come upstairs. So now it's like,
how's that talking out of his ass?
Because he just assumes this guy doesn't want to come upstairs. He walked past him for 3 seconds to go upstairs to do his job.
But
he has no idea what that is. But you know that sets a tone Okay, don't give the eyes.
You kind of bulldozed this conversation
no, I'm not,
where I'm
Rone.
not able to
trying
get a word in
I'm
edgewise.
trying to lay out what you guys have already done so you can see it from the perspective of someone other than yourself.
But you've jumped from one topic to another.
I'm not. This is the
so
sequence.
are we talking about Sophie Cunningham or are we talking about...
Let's pause it for a second
Rone.
because I think you're giving a lot of good context into how...
I'm trying to show the sequence of how it was discussed on Boy Dad and why it's a problem. This is the exact sequence of events.
So
okay?
the crux of the issue, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to provide a little bit of structure here so people can follow along with what's going on. So the crux of the issue is that you believe Son of a Boy Dad spoke about the events in a way that gave undue hate to Gia.
Absolutely, yes.
And your response to that is...
Well, which part?
Okay, so you're already talking a little bit of shit about Gia. So that already has happened, which is fine. That was on the table. Gia had her own opinions on Sophie. Then this conversation about the attack happens. So now, fresh off of this conversation talking shit about Gia, it's which it was. All of a sudden, now we're talking shit about the attacker.
To be honest,
now we're saying shit like you can't just go 2 feet down the road to pick up your food. Who orders their food? It's New York City.
Well, you said that.
Did I say that?
Sass said it, and you guys all agreed.
I didn't say that. I ordered
okay. If you want me to lay out what's happening here, you have to be open to the fact that you were encouraging this conversation, and maybe you were acting like maybe it was just like I'm too dumb to realize how this is going to sound right now, but I know that you're not a dumb guy. So I know that you are egging people on. I know that you're encouraging a conversation that's going to cause a stir. And I think that Francis, Sass, and you were talking about the fight, and then you'd give your own color commentary that was actively negative towards Gia and towards how she handled everything. You said you can't be filming. Oh, and then Sass said that's Gia's point of view, and you kept saying it. So you did know that it was Gia because he told you.
What do you mean?
It's all on the. At one point you were because Gia had texted you yesterday saying, why,
she said, what did you say on Son of a Boy Dad?
Yes, but then you said, like, I didn't know who was filming, so that's what I was saying.
I said in real time, I think it's one of our social people.
Yes, but then Sass said, it's Gia.
Right.
And then you didn't switch up your tone
Okay,
at all
so
about
when
the
I
whole
said
thing.
you can't film that, do you think that I'm entitled to that opinion?
I think that you weren't there and you didn't know what was going on. There was someone literally standing next to her calling 911. She was filming for evidence.
But do you think I'm entitled to that opinion?
I think it's a misconstrued opinion. I think it's based not on enough information. I think that it's uninformed. It's an uninformed opinion.
What information do you think I don't have?
At that time, you were just saying that you can't be filming. You can't be screaming, call 911, and you're the one filming. There's someone next to her calling 911. There's people running for help. So in that moment, when you're like, you can't be filming, then it sets the precedent and narrative, which is continuing on about Gia, which is that she, instead of calling 911, pulled out her phone because she's some whatever. Why would you film it? Why would you film it? She wasn't the only one there. But you weren't there to know that, and you judged and set a narrative and set a precedent of an attitude towards her online, which you did, instead of waiting for a second and thinking, wait, this is all a little sticky. Let's not cast blame over the people that were involved in this attack.
You said you listened to the podcast, right?
Yes.
And you heard Sass say directly, I don't blame Gia.
But he said that after he blamed Gia 50 times.
I mean, if you say I don't blame Gia, why are we not taking that as
Did he
but you
explicitly
can't put
blame
the-
Gia, or was he just like,
You
hey,
can't put the
you
toothpaste back
shouldn't
in
have
the
been
tube.
filming
No,
it?
it's exactly what I said. It was an insult sandwich. It was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Hey, you know what? It's really fucking lazy if you don't go and get your food 2 blocks
But
away.
I think that was
hey,
a general.
wow, this is
I think
nuts.
that was
No,
a general
Pat,
statement
don't
by
be
Rone.
obtuse. Don't be
Because
obtuse.
I'm not being obtuse.
That's not even my statement
like
that I made.
general statements. I'm saying it was the tone in which you were talking about it. And again, go back and watch it. Like, I would love for you to go back and watch it through the lens that I'm describing, which is the lens of like the haters on the internet.
But I think your lens also is like you are like so like protective of like the women in this office, and you ride so hard for people that you consider allies. And I just know that about you, that is like one of your qualities, and I think it's a great quality, that like no matter what, like you'll go to war for people, and sometimes you are like so like you have an appetite for these like battles that you'll take on somebody else's battle. And that
I don't appreciate this spin either, because
Why?
I think that this is now making me sound as if I'm not being objective. If I were to watch that episode back after seeing that clip out of context, which looked bad, that's the only reason I went to go watch the episode. And I was looking because I like working
But
with
you're only
and personally like
acknowledging
you.
things
I
that
like Francis.
affirm
I like
your
Sass.
belief on this. You're only acknowledging the things. So when
What do you-
Sass says, "I don't blame Gia," you're not acknowledging that, and you're saying that that's
I'm saying that it was too little, too
irrelevant.
late. By the time he's saying that, all the jokes are already off. All the narrative is already spun. It's too little, too late.
But,
It just,
like,
none of it needed
okay.
to be said in a negative way towards her, and it was. And I genuinely, seriously would ask you to watch it back and tell me that I'm misinterpreting it, because here's the situation. I like working with you. I always feel like we get along really well.
Totally.
I love Francis. I love Harry. I have no problem with anybody on that show. I know you guys lift us up all the time. Like, I'm not trying to start a problem. I'm not trying to fight somebody's battle. I watched that entire episode to hopefully find a place where that clip was taken out of context, and surely you couldn't have meant to instigate such hate towards Gia, and unfortunately it's exactly what you guys did. And
Well,
so if you watch it back and you're like, damn, I didn't realize it came across like that, and that was not our intention, then that would satisfy me. I think that would satisfy Gia. I think it would satisfy anybody. But there is no way, in my opinion, you could watch that and not think that you guys were throwing shady jabs at Gia while describing the events of what happened.
Well, let's see what was your intent in that conversation, and then, because I'm gonna be Kelly, I'll keep it 100 with you.
Yeah.
As someone who just watched it and was not like in the mud, for me, I was like, this is like a nothing burger. I was like, I think
you
Gia,
watched Son of a Boyda?
the clips I'm talking about.
No, the clip. You got to watch the
So
whole
what
thing.
I'm
That's
so what I'm saying is,
It's
when I see a clip
important.
like that, what I think is Gia gets hate online, and I think obviously, like, you'll get hate online, I get hate online. We're sensitive to hate online.
Yeah.
And I think in this situation, no matter who was filming, like, we're allowed to take a jab at Gia.
Right, but again,
like, that's an
we're-
okay thing to do.
We're boiling it down to this one clip. The one clip is the tip of the iceberg in the conversation, and that's what I'm saying.
you
I
think
saw it
that
and I
I'm-
said, that's fucked up. Surely there's more to it. And I went, and unfortunately it was worse than I thought.
Do you
Well,
think that
yeah.
I like unduly give hate to people, or specifically in this circumstance, do you think that I go out of my way to pick on Gia?
I think that in this instance you were picking on Gia without saying it outwardly. Yes, that's how it
But like
felt.
throughout the
but
history of my
generally,
content
I think,
about
yeah,
Gia,
I think that
you think I've gone out of my way to pick on Gia?
I'm not
Or
saying
do you
that you're
think I
going out
eat-
of your way to pick on Gia over in the history of time. I
Right.
think in this
Well, that's what
exact
I'm asking.
instance, no. I don't think that you're always going out of your way to
So-
do that to anybody, not just Gia. I'm
Right.
not singling her out. But I will say, you are known to stir up a conversation and stir up something like that. So
Equal
it's not-
opportunity. I'll stir up a conversation about anybody.
Right, but sometimes a conversation doesn't need to be stirred in that way. It can
this is your-
still be a conversation, still be opinions given about it. It doesn't have to be this like wow, this is so crazy. How fucking lazy do you have to be to not walk 2 feet in New York City?
But
wasn't
didn't
that
say
about
that.
wasn't that about everyone?
I
Wasn't
know,
No,
that
but
I'm
a
not
joke?
saying that.
Pat, it's like it's you. I keep saying you have to watch it because you have to watch it. I'm not just saying this to say
But
it.
this
I'm
doesn't
not
feel
just
like a
fighting to fight.
conversation.
I am
This
not
feels like
just-
you reading me the riot act.
Yeah,
I would
let's
like
let-
to know how you can look back at it and how you can say that wasn't exactly what you're doing. That's what I'm asking. And I think that you're at this point where if you're acting surprised or if you're genuinely surprised, then I'm disappointed
Well, I
that none of
think
you had
that-
the foresight to see how that was going to come out, because I do know that other parts of that conversation were edited out because it made you guys look bad and it made us look bad. So why did you leave in the pieces that
I
made
didn't
Gia
edit
look bad?
anything out, and I didn't request.
Stuff
and I've
was
never
edited out of that
but I've
conversation.
never requested anything to be edited
Francis
out.
did.
Okay, but I've never done that, and so you're
Okay.
you're.
But you guys
you're
are a
whole-
team. You're a team of people.
We gotta let him.
Sorry.
I know this
Okay,
is
I
everyone's
know.
getting
I'm
fired
just
up,
upset.
but I feel like Rone hasn't really had a chance
Okay.
yet to kind of say
I'll
his
shut the
side
fuck
of
up now.
things, and I think we should let him do that.
Go ahead.
My standpoint is I don't go out of my way to pick on anybody. I'm equal opportunity about all of it. And so if somebody's actions in a certain circumstance, no matter what they are, this is my knee-jerk reaction to me seeing my coworker getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
And I say in the moment, you can't film that. You can't be filming that. And that's how I felt in the moment. And I feel what I'm hearing from you is that is an invalid response. That is not an appropriate
I think
response.
it's an uninformed response, which is what I said before.
Okay, and so you're saying that I need more information on that. I think that in a circumstance like that, I have no personal animus towards Gia.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with her. I think in a circumstance like that, I think that there's 3 things that you should do before you film. I think that helping someone physically, okay, maybe you're a
Which
woman.
she did, by the way. She kicked the guy and tried to, which is on the video, but continue. Sorry.
I think helping somebody physically, is one of the options. If you feel like that is too much of a thing to do, I think that the second option would be go get help. Go get help. Go get somebody who can help. I think the third thing to do is call 911. I think that the last thing to do is film. And I think that it's more like, I'm not trying to make this into like a culture thing, but like when we see something happening to a human that we know and our first response is to film it, and then like why film? Why are we filming it? Are we thinking about court cases and documents? Maybe it's helpful for like the police or something like that. I think a lot of times
That's exactly what the police said, by the way.
I think a lot of the times people are thinking about like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How can I capture this crazy moment?
Yeah, but that's, again, your feelings about people filming things. That is not what Gia's intention was. But you already set the precedent that was her intention. So now everybody's saying that about her. Like, you're like, you can't film that. You're talking about it. That's not my... Even right now, you're saying...
But that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But
But again, you weren't there in the situation. Someone else was calling... She's screaming for help. Gaz is sitting right there. He made it there in 10 seconds. Someone else is actively calling 911 while it's happening. And all Gia could do in the moment, after she's trying to kick this guy or whatever, can't help physically. She pulls out her phone and starts filming. She's shaking. She's not even really filming correctly in her head. And I talked to her about this. She's like, I just thought it would be helpful because there are no cameras, which she's right. The only camera that was available at that moment is that top corner one. So if she hadn't filmed that guy getting him fucked up, then we would have had that up corner footage, and that's it. And the police said that to Gia immediately. They said, thank God you filmed this. We need this. They asked her for it immediately. But instead of coming after you guys are done recording, and again, I know that you guys had to go back and edit some stuff out. You could have asked people around what's going on and maybe have had a different opinion on the situation if you knew that what she was doing was actually helpful. She wasn't doing it for content. And that implication is asinine. And that makes her look like an asshole. And I think that is what you know, because you are smarter than that.
I mean, I think that like that is kind of like a subtle jab that you keep taking. Like, you're smarter than having the opinion that you have. I think that like
I don't think it's your opinion though. That's what I'm saying. I think
so.
That you're
Whose
like,
opinion is it?
I think that you're being snide.
To serve what?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Because, well, I'm telling you that it's my opinion, and you're saying that I'm doing it to serve nothing. I think that like there is like a content brain thing that like we have sometimes at Barstool, that we have like as a society, that like as our phones are glued to our hands, it's like something crazy's happening. There's like a wall between humans, their phones, and what's actually happening. And I'm not
so
like
you're
saying
put all that on Gia.
No.
That's what it
I'm
feels
not saying.
like.
I'm saying society as a whole.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
she's
that
the example in this.
Okay, but
we're not having a greater conversation about society.
I think that is a problem.
Okay, separately.
Okay, I think that this circumstance might have been endemic to that. I also don't want to be like that. That wasn't my goal. Wasn't to talk about this further or talk negatively about Gia further. I feel like now,
Further. Yeah, because you were talking negatively about it on Son of a Boy Dad. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, but like
I just
we
don't
equal,
get why
we,
you guys
we joke about each other.
that.
We joke about like they're welcome to joke about me. We joke about everybody here. And you're saying because like this was like a difficult situation that we shouldn't joke about it?
I'm not saying that you can't joke about it. I'm saying the way that you guys talked about it was very clearly shady and throwing jabs in between discussing what was going on. And Rone, I'm really serious. I just don't know how else you can see it. I really went in watching, hoping that I was misunderstanding a clip, hoping that people were getting riled up over nothing. The hate train always comes for anybody that does anything. It doesn't matter. That is the nature of the business, we understand. And that is what you said when Gia said, what the fuck? You said, that's the nature of our business. I get it. But I don't know objectively how you can see that, you, Francis, and Harry talking about it and not think, yeah, maybe I didn't really need to say it in that way. And I can now understand why people are agreeing with us.
Say
it in a way that, like a way that you're like rolling your eyes and acting like it's Gia's fault, especially because Danny's in the hospital and stuff.
No, but he said it's not Gia's fault. No one said
in like
fault.
A joking, laughing way.
But you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm really not.
You 100% are.
I'm really not.
I don't think. The way I saw it, and I would have to watch the whole episode, is I don't think that you were pinning it on Gia. And I do think, to play devil's advocate, you're allowed to be shady to people. If he wants to be shady to Gia and these people, that's well within. We're shady to people on here. That's well within his right to do it. And because Gia gets more hate online than certain people, you don't have to take that into account. Like, if he wants to shit on Gia for how she acted, he's allowed to do that, whether it's right or wrong. And I don't know if I think intent is very important in these things.
Well, that's the question.
And I don't think
what
Rone
was
just
the
knowing.
intent?
My intent
the
was
intent?
being
That's good, yeah.
real to myself in the circumstance. If I was getting the shit beat out of me and I saw you filming it happen, I would be like, especially looking back, I'd be like, or just going forward even, fuck looking back. Please don't film me if I'm getting the shit beat out of me. I'll ask that, and I'll put it about me. Please never film me if I'm getting the shit beat out
promises.
of me.
Okay.
And then outside of that, like after that, it's like, okay, how can we introduce some levity to this situation on our comedy podcast? And I think Lil Sass did a good job of doing that when he was like, yeah, I think if I see her filming me, I think this is it, I'm gonna die. And he made a joke about it, which
But
is
again,
a
that's
funny
not
joke.
even-
And you don't find it funny
No.
because that's your friend. But like,
But it's
if
not
we're
even that I
making a
don't find that
shady joke about.
funny.
What is
That
it?
is not even that is not the problem. That was a very clear joke. Of course, that's a joke. It's when you read between the lines on the conversations you're having in between discussing the attack is where I have umbrage. That is my problem. Okay. And unfortunately, like until you watch it back with that lens, you're not going to see what I'm talking about because you clearly don't agree, and you don't see my perspective of it, which has become the perspective of people. Like it's almost as if you've given the green light for everybody to be like, yeah, Gia's so fucking lazy. She lives in New York City and she gets her food delivered.
But that's like
how do you
blaming.
not see
That's like blaming
that's
Taylor
what
Swift
happens?
for her fans being crazy about something.
Okay, so now, the Son of a Boy Dad fans are just they're acting of their own accord. They don't
Do you
respect you
think-
guys and
Do you
take
think that
your opinion
these
as
are all
fact
Son
and
of a
then
Boy
just
Dad
whatever.
fans that are doing
I
this?
got
I
both-
hope not.
I got
I
both-
hope
what are you
not.
I got a
talking
question
about?
for both of you guys, and you can each answer on your own. Do you think that your show that you put out and the clips that were put out created hate towards Gia? And do you think
We
it
didn't put
created
those clips
extra
out
hate?
from Son of a Boy Dad.
Where were they from?
Anywhere else? I don't know. Probably Neil.
But so do you think those clips made things worse or
I
better,
do.
or do you think regardless of what happened when people saw that this was going to be
Well,
the reaction?
Gia showed you the text that I sent her, right?
Yeah.
And what was the last sentence of it?
You said
I'm
said
sorry that I've made that I've made the hate for you worse online.
Yes.
What is the hate that she's getting? People
Everyone
are saying,
says it's her fault. Everyone says it's her fault because
And
she
we
didn't
said on the
order
show
food.
it's not her
but at a
fault.
certain point, isn't it like, obviously it's not Gia's fault. I think everyone knows it's not fucking Gia's fault with a brain.
Okay,
and it's
well,
like,
do they? Because Ron has yet to say that.
No, he said.
I
Rona said
literally
that.
texted it to Gia.
So say
We
right now
know it's not Gia's
that none
fault.
of that is her fault. She's not lazy for ordering food. She's not, she's not a
No
piece
one.
of
I
shit
never
for
said it's her
not walking
fault.
downstairs
You're making me
to get her
deny
food.
something I never said.
But okay, sure, yes, verbatim. You didn't say this is Gia's fault and she's a lazy piece of shit. You're right. You didn't verbatim say that. But I'm not.
Did I
born
insinuate that
yesterday
she's
and
a
I-
lazy
Yes.
piece of shit?
Yes, you
I
did.
insinuated that.
Yes.
Through what
You,
words?
Francis,
Through what
and
words?
Sass.
Oh, no, but now you're
Talking
saying
about
me
people-
and other people.
Ron, I'm not fucking with you. I would not sit here with such conviction if I wasn't certain about what I'm talking about.
So what are you certain
and
of?
Francis and Sass had multiple conversations, not only about the way that she was filming, and you were like, oh, I didn't know it was Gia. Okay, fine. That's sure. Then about the delivery of food, not going downstairs to get your food,
I
not
said on
walking somewhere to
Rone.com
get
today.
food.
Wait. I have to stop you.
Okay,
I
well,
said
that's
on
today. I
Rone.com
didn't watch
today.
Rone.com. I didn't watch Rone.com
I
today.
said today, nobody goes downstairs to get their food.
Okay, thank you.
Nobody does. The
They
food
don't.
comes to the fucking door.
Okay.
Nobody does that. That's an unrealistic expectation.
Okay.
You're dragging me over the coals for shit I did not say or insinuate.
You did, but okay.
I
Insinuate,
think you got to
yes.
say the show. If you feel that the show as a whole insinuated certain
Yes.
things,
That's
Why
what I'm
not
saying.
talk?
That's what I'm
Have them
saying, like-
talk to them about it. Why are you?
No, Ron, because
t-
you're a
t-
team. The three of you are a team.
But
all
you guys
equally
obviously
guilty in
think
this
differently about
conversation.
certain things.
Well, where's Francis and Harry? Get them in here. I'll give them the same bitch out. You just happen to be here. You said on Rone.com you wanted to have a conversation, so that's why you're here. I
Totally,
would've
and
just
I'm
had
happy
this
to do it on
conversation
your platform.
without you here.
I'll give you all of the any of it. Like it doesn't matter. I'm
Okay,
happy
but
to do
why-
it.
Look,
Like
I don't think
that
we're
to me
gonna-
sounds
I
like
don't-
you're,
I know, I don't
on your
think-
platform, whatever. I don't give a fuck about this. I'm upset on behalf of my friend. I think you guys sounded like assholes.
Right, but
I would have said that
my
with or
point
without
in
you
saying
sitting
that
here.
is that like if I'm having this like this is a adversarial conversation, and that's not my intent coming into this conversation. I would like to have like a reasonable conversation, not one where it's like so unbalanced or like vitriolic. And that's the kind of conversation that I'm really feeling from you, where it's like I'm happy to even have it on your terms, which is this like very like butting heads conversation. But like I don't think that is like at the same way you're accusing me of like being closed-minded. I don't really think that you're open to seeing anything other than a charitable thought about this to your friend?
I think that I'd be open to having a more calm conversation about it if you were to watch the episode back and see what I'm talking about, because I don't think that
I'll
you're
watch it back.
understanding
Sure, I'll
the
watch it
gravity of
back.
what
I'm happy to
saying.
watch it back.
It's, I would not be having this conversation. I would not be having this energy. I would not be talking about this for this long of time if I wasn't certain about what I'm saying. And that's why I'm riled up. And it seems to me as if you were like actively rejecting the idea that you sounded like an asshole while talking about the situation.
Which he's entitled to do.
Of course. Who's saying
Am I
you're
entitled
not?
to do what?
Reject the idea that
To disagree with me on that. That's fine.
I think the bottom line is this: you guys disagree. You thought the show.
Yeah.
You thought the show put blame on Gia. You're saying it didn't, and that's it.
Not
right?
only
That's
that,
the
we
end of it. It
explicitly
is.
said
Right, yeah.
we don't blame Gia on the show.
Okay.
This
Watch
is
it
coming
back
down to like
and then
is this
give me your
this is
thoughts.
coming down to like replies and shit online, right?
You're,
People are
yes,
being
we're
mean
I'm
towards
being
Gia.
blamed for the people's reaction to Gia online, and you're saying that I piled on.
Your the conversation
and-
you guys had on your podcast is what I'm blaming
And
for
you- and
this.
you
I'm
said-
not saying it's you, Rone, alone. I'm saying that you,
Right.
Francis, and Harry
Right.
stirred up a conversation and a narrative that I felt was extremely unfair, and I would love for you to look at it back and tell me otherwise, and have a better defense to that, because I don't think what you're saying right now defends or exonerates you from that behavior.
So you tweeted about it yesterday, and one of the words you used in the tweet is that we're piling on Gia.
Yeah.
But like we said that live before there had been any blowback.
Yeah, but it came out
hang
yesterday
on, let me finish.
morning.
Let me finish. We said that live as we watched it before anybody had said a word about Gia. This isn't us seeing other people's response to Gia and rah-rahing and being like, yeah, and this. That was our live response when there was a completely clean slate about the situation. This isn't us adding to a narrative. This is us just acting and reacting instinctively to a situation.
But this is what I'm saying. With that reaction that you're describing, the second the show comes out, that's when the conversation turned on Gia. So are we putting two and two together here?
Well,
or what?
I mean, I don't know if there's like you think that you can like pinpoint the conversation
Pretty much.
turning? How like with
based
what?
on her the reaction she was getting online. At first it was like, holy shit, this is crazy, like I don't even know how I'd react. I would run away, blah blah blah, whatever. And then all of a sudden the tides change. She's lazy. It's her fault that this guy, because she wouldn't go downstairs to get her food, she's entitled, she's this, she's that.
And who is saying this?
This is the response now online based on the intermittent conversations. Like I guess maybe this is an individual thing. If I'm talking about one thing and then I say something directly after, I don't think it's so shocking to assume that someone is going to equate those two. And you guys went back and forth, insulting not only the things that Gia had done that had turned into this attack. It was also like just this like circular shit talk, while also being like, oh yeah, this is shitty, I can't believe this happened.
But Gia's joking about the situation.
What are you talking about?
Gia put out a TikTok yesterday being like, I didn't get my Chick-fil-A yesterday and I can't even get Chick-fil-A today, joking about it.
Yeah, that's
introducing levity to the
also,
situation.
I watched that video. It's not, I mean, it's a joke a little bit, but she's depressed as fuck. Like, I don't know. She's trying to make the best of it. Like, I've never seen someone get shit on so bad. And obviously I'm riding harder because it's my girl. But at the same time, if it's happening to anybody, it doesn't have to be Gia. It could be happening to Pat. And I'd be having the same conversation. Be like, why'd you guys go off like that, back and forth, implying that she's lazy for not going to get her own food?
Okay. That's beef you have with Francis, and I encourage you to address that with Francis.
But I'm lumping you in with Francis because you guys are all on the same team. That's why we're having this conversation.
Okay,
which is fair.
You all
All right.
put out a podcast together, having the same conversation, and that's it. And Francis can't sit here. Francis will start crying if we have this conversation. He can't hold himself up in a conversation like this, and that's a fact. Because we started having a conversation yesterday about it, and he walked away with his head hung and tried to call me after work about it. So like he can't have an on-camera conversation like this, like you can. So I do appreciate the conversation, but I would love for you to watch it back as a whole. And if after that point you tell me to go fuck myself, then you can tell me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, I'm happy to watch it back. I think that like in like a macro sense, it can be like a learnable situation where we think about when we act and when we film. Do you think that that's a worthwhile conversation to have or no?
I think that is a fine conversation. I don't necessarily think that it applies here. And I think that applying it to this situation doesn't help the narrative against Gia. Like she wasn't at fault for pulling out her phone when someone else was calling 911 and help was running down the hallway.
I don't think you were saying she was at fault though. Like I don't think
But
their show was saying she were at fault.
I seriously feel crazy
maybe
right
people
now.
online were like she's at fault. I think you guys were just busting balls.
I feel genuinely crazy right now neither of you are seeing the implication of that. Being like, it's just crazy how people are bringing out their phones in this situation when you shouldn't be, when she is the one who did it in this situation. Obviously, people think that's what you're talking about. Am I crazy?
Yeah, but that's how he feels. So it's like, who cares?
Okay, then he's talking shit about Gia.
I don't know if that's talking shit.
How do you not say those two things in the same breath?
Because I think
and pretend
intent,
it's not related.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think, and I'm trying to be objective here and see both sides. I think it's just, I don't think Rone's intent was ever to be like, to get people to pile on Gia. I think it was, objectively speaking, like, oh, you got your fucking phone out. And then maybe in hindsight, it's like, yeah, people will shit on her for that. I mean, I'm
but that's
talking
what I'm saying.
for you.
How do you not have the foresight to see that
Because it was a knee-jerk reaction. Let Rone talk.
It was, and I don't want to talk in circles, but like even the way that I said it at the time, I was like, oh, you can't film that. Almost like, I don't even want to have to say this, but like, you can't film that. Like, it's like something I didn't want to say, which is like that is like, and it's almost, I feel like I'm kind of being pressured to say something that I don't believe. And that's kind of like the like sense that I get. And I think that maybe in your perfect world, I just wouldn't have talked about it. But I don't think that that's like...
No, that's not what I'm saying either. I don't... It's not that I didn't think that you guys would talk about it. Of course you're going to talk about it. It's the tone in which you discussed it, which, again, you can't control everybody's opinions. You can't control everybody's thoughts. But to not have the foresight to understand that you're saying this and people are going to link those together and it's going to look like you're talking shit directly about Gia. Like I cannot comprehend that like disconnect. I don't understand it.
So my intent was my tone.
I'm also not just talking about you, and you keep bringing it's almost like you're trying to clear your own name and be like, well, Francis and Harry were saying
you're talking about
I said this one thing. It's not about the one thing you said. It's about the conversation as a whole over like a half hour of time.
Is about like going the specific part about walking to go get lunch. Like that's all I'm talking
Ron,
about.
I'm telling you, it's multiple pieces of the conversation. It's about 30 minutes long. You guys go back and forth on it for a long time, and as I kept watching it, I could not believe what I was seeing. Like in my head, I was like, they must know that they're talking shit, and it must be because Rone already brought up this shit about Gia and Sophie, and they're continuing this narrative through this conversation.
But we didn't know that happened. Like we didn't know what we're about to see.
No, I know,
one thing or the other.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if everyone's just going and not thinking about what they're saying, and then deal with the repercussions later, fine. I just think that that's unfair. It's unfair that now Gia is dealing with this, and I do blame a lot of it based on the narrative you guys were talking about. I do.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, well, let's give Rone, I think we know your opinion. I'm still like kind of in the middle. Let's give Rone, before we get to our interview with John Feitelberg and talk about a couple of our sponsors, let's give Rone the final word as a guest who came in here on where he stands.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I truly appreciate
Good times,
Christ.
good times.
Holy shit, yeah.
No, I truly appreciate I'm such a big out and about fan. I love the fact that you guys have tough conversations. I think that there's times when both you guys play the good cop, bad cop role, where like, I don't mind, like I know what I think, so I don't mind saying my opinion. And I think you obviously are, you have scruples or like at least a standard of what you believe. And you always ride for your friends. And I also talked about this on Rone.com today. I think the women's network at Barstool, specifically in New York, you guys are super tight. And I think that you guys always ride for each other. I think that's really cool. I think that that's like a good thing that
for sure.
You and Gia and Caroline and Jackie and Mooby and Smelly and Una, I think, and Pat, Trish.
I'd like to break that network down, honestly.
Yeah.
That's why we got them all out in Surviving.
Because they're very tight. You guys are very tight knit, and I appreciate you guys being tight knit. And I think that it's like you guys are airtight, and like nothing's getting in there. And I'm sure that there are times when you guys disagree with each other, and I think that it's like admirable to like never let those cracks be public. And I think that that's like a very like nobody knows probably how hard it is for Gia. Nobody knows how hard of a week it's been for Gia. That has been tough for her. and nobody knows. She probably gets an outsized amount of like negativity online, and you guys have her back for that. And
Yeah.
I think that is admirable.
Thank you. I think that that's genuine. I'm having. I'm.
Well, I
in
think
one of
that's
those
just, yeah. It's
Okay,
genuine.
okay. Thank you for saying that. It's yes. I just well, it's like it's obviously Gia's not had like the Danny's in the hospital. That's like you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
let's focus on Dan.
We're not saying that like she's had the hardest week. It's just like I don't know. I don't like the conversations that imply that somehow Gia's at fault for Danny being in the hospital. I think that
Yes,
makes
and I'm
me
not
feel
implying
sick,
that, and we explicitly did not imply that as a show. And
Okay.
I also don't think you can blame people for what their fans do.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Sure.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to a degree. I mean, I think there's certain. I don't think
If
everything is black and
Beyonce's
white.
fans go crazy on somebody,
Yeah, but
is
even
it
when,
Beyonce's
when
fault?
some people's fans are going crazy enough, they end up speaking up.
Listen,
Just
we're gonna
saying.
go around in circles here. I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
agree to disagree. You didn't like the conversation. You're saying you didn't do anything. It is what it is. But
Subscribe to Out and About.
Subscribe
Yeah.
to Rone.com.
Subscribe
Rone,
to
thank
Simon
you for
Boydad.
coming in. To be honest, I was hoping we get a little bit more closure on this, but
Well,
it seems
so
like
I mean,
this
you
is a battle
sprung
that
this
will
on
live
me.
in
I said
every-
I'm legitimately upset with Rone. Like I saw this yesterday. I really wasn't gonna. I was gonna talk a little bit about it on here. I was not planning on like confronting you in this way. I've been like I said, I was ignoring Francis's phone calls. I don't love to be at my peak anger when I'm having a conversation like
Why?
this because I think that. I think that, like you just said, I'm speaking at you as if it's like, vitriol, as if I'm bitching you out or whatever. And while I am upset with you, I think that you even saying that negates the points that I've made.
Well, I just
and that's
don't feel-
unfortunate. And
I
I
don't
think that you
feel-
did that intentionally also.
I didn't. I just don't feel like a receptiveness of like a point counterpoint conversation. I almost feel like it's like you're like unloading the clip on me. And that's not me saying that to create anything. That's just my genuine feeling of
Yeah.
this, where it's not like you're like, oh, I see where that's coming from. Any point that I make in like a certain way, you'd be like, well, like that all of you are saying that, or like Lil Sass saying that doesn't matter. Like there's not really like an acceptance to be like, okay, maybe there is more gray area than the black and white that you're painting this as.
I guess it just kind of all comes down to intent, and I just don't know what your intent was.
So
Like,
my
that's-
intent was
and I
two
don't know if I
things.
believe what you're saying
So
now.
my
Like, you're-
intent
you're-
was two things: an honest reaction to the video, and then finding a way to make it funny after that. Those are my two intents.
Okay.
And do you think? And it feels like you think my intent was to belittle Gia.
Yes, I do.
Right.
That's how it appears.
right.
In the edit watching back, which is why I think I would
Okay,
love
I'll
if
take
you
another
find
look
the
at it.
time
Yep,
to look at it.
totally.
I'm not saying it's like the number one
Totally.
thing you have to do, but and again, if I'm actually fucking crazy in this entire situation, then let me know. If I've really missed the mark on this, let me know. But I feel pretty confident. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, nothing's black and white. So shout out for coming in.
Thank you,
This is
guys.
what we're doing here. We're having conversations about
Yes.
things. Quick
Pat's
word.
been red in the face this
Quick,
whole time.
quick word. I
know
don't know
you're
where to
just
even
drunk.
fucking interject. Quick word from our sponsors before we get to John Feidelberg to talk about surviving Barstool. Episode Something Big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with a massive bunch of deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now live in all 50 states. That means from Texas to California to Florida, every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get pumped, all 50 states. That's incredible. So get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with code ABOUT and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. Includes all markets. The code is ABOUT in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
And wait, also separately, keep your eyes peeled over the weekend. I will be participating in a race across
That's right.
America to celebrate the fact that DK is available in all 50 states, and that's going to be something. I'm going to be in a car. I'll be with Jerry and Dante. I don't know if that's released. Oh well. And it's just we're gonna see how it goes. It's going to be filmed live via social clips. So you'll be able to watch that on all of our platforms.
We love it. Again, new DraftKings customers sign up with code ABOUT and spend $5 to get 200 in rewards within 21 days. Includes all markets. That's code ABOUT in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Pat, we're of course doing all of this after we've had our conversations already, and boy, do I need another jolt of energy. I think I've expended all of the energy I have in my body on these conversations, so thank God that we have Stella Blue on the podcast today with Stella Blue coffee, ready to drink canned lattes. You can taste the difference and make a difference. Stella Blue cans are made with 100% Colombian coffee and packed with 190 milligrams of caffeine to fuel your day. That's exactly what I need right now. Whether you're heading to work, the gym, or just need a quick afternoon pick-me-up, Stella Blue delivers smooth taste wherever you are. And here is the best part, Pat. 100% of the proceeds will go towards our We Brew to Rescue mission, in which we are funding the adoption of 1,000 pets across the country. Love that. Grab an espresso sweet cream or espresso cafe mocha can today on StellaBlueCoffee.com, Amazon, or select Target, 7-Eleven, and Circle K locations around the country. Go to the store locator on StellaBlueCoffee.com to find a store near you.
All right, welcome to the second half of Out and About. You are sitting with two men who are losers. Really, it's me and John, bamboozled by Tommy fucking Smokes and Rone. I told you,
bamboozled?
Me. Tommy flipped on me in the second, in the episode where I got eliminated. Tommy had told me that he wouldn't vote for me, and he did. So Tommy flipped on me. So
He also flipped
I
and
don't think I
blindsided
got-
both of you. He was going to vote with you and then voted
He
against
voted for you, too.
you.
But I didn't
don't
have
And
an
didn't
alliance
tell
with Tommy.
you.
no.
Yeah, but but you guys had been talking and being on the same page, and then he was like, us three are the ones voting, Rone. And you remember confirming with him, like, we're going Rone. He was like, yeah. And then he's like literally like holding his stomach anxiety because he's lying to your face. All of a sudden, Tommy's like, Mr. Friend.
Oh, it's such fucking
new.
bullshit. Seeing him just, I can't do this. I can't do that. Tommy, shut up. And I get it too. Like it was harder to vote people out than I thought.
Of course.
It was more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was great. I did see the writing on the wall once you went. And I was blindsided, and I had the most over-the-top reaction to you being blindsided. I go,
oh. You did.
and I lean over. I go, oh my god,
Your wig flew off.
Like I learned.
Oh my god!
It did. I
It was
learned I need to
hilarious.
play everything close to the chest.
Yeah.
There are so many gameplay mistakes that I made. I'm like, I would have done things so differently. But once you went, I go, that's it. I'm fucking toast. Let me cause some chaos. And they kept a lot of the chaos out. But what did you guys think about the episode?
So as an outsider, which it is very fun watching. I keep saying this every episode. It's very fun watching it, not having been in it, and like knowing all of you guys, because the way that I'm standing up from the couch, like rooting everybody on and like screaming at the TV, it's so fun. I hope everybody else at home is having as much fun as I am watching in that way. But I thought that you guys were really starting to hit your stride and like make moves. And if Tommy had voted with you guys, I think that you both still would have been in the game without question. Like it would be a different
This is where he's
scenario.
going to be like, we had no shot.
No, but I don't think so. I think that was kind of a real like pivotal thing because
I'm sorry. I just be clear. I suck at talking about this, so
No,
I'm
no
already
worries.
a little lost.
No worries.
Where are we right now?
We're right before you get voted out.
Okay.
So you guys are which Sunday's challenge? I'm blanking now. What was before John got
That was
voted
the
out?
ring.
That was the ring toss.
That was
Ring
the
was
ring.
my last
Oh my god, the
one.
ring
Yeah.
toss. Okay. Which that alone, Tommy is lucky he made that through because I've never seen a worse performance of somebody during a challenge in my life.
Yeah.
And for you guys to not totally turn on him in that moment was like big of you, I think. So it's kind of shitty.
So we're really the winners in the end.
Yeah,
It
pretty
was
much.
so big of
But I
I
do think it's
won.
shitty that
Yeah.
like turnaround happened, and now you're both out, and I don't get to watch you guys anymore. So that sucks.
It's kind of nice. It was weird watching myself get eliminated because the first 5 episodes, we were joking, me and John and Dante too. We were like, we have no airtime because we weren't playing. And then we were. And then
I disagree with that because before I got voted out that last tribal, Jeff said something like, "How are you playing the game this year?" Something like that, and I was like, it probably looks different. Because the first time I ever played, I didn't play at all. Like that was a
But you made
strategy.
it to
that
how
was like
far?
your thing.
I made it to the end. Like it was the right
Yes.
strategy. My strategy was these are the 14 biggest egomaniacs in the world.
Yes.
What can I do that they can't do? Is sit down and shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
So that's what I did, and it worked. And then I went into this game of being like, I was open to the idea of playing crazy. I was open to the idea of being like a different player and scheming and scamming and doing all that stuff. And I got there and I just quickly realized that's not me. Like the second
I got so fucking mad at you. You're like, it's a moral thing. I'm sitting on the bed. I go, "What are you talking
No,
about? A moral
I didn't
thing?"
say it's a moral thing. You said it's a moral
Or
thing.
I said it's a moral thing, and then
yeah.
that's right. And then you were like, you knew you were playing with me, and I was like, I don't fucking care.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But like, so I was open to the idea. I got there, quickly realized that's not gonna happen. That's just not me. And so I said in the tribal, my last line was like, it probably looks different. What did I say? It probably looks different, but yeah. I said it probably looks different, but I'm playing it the same way. I'm just doing what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I said that first part. I think it looks different because I thought I was playing.
You-
I
no,
thought
I
I
thought
was
that
trying.
you were too.
Yeah.
I thought that you were too.
When push came to shove, and
Yeah.
this is just like who you are, you didn't want to make the move. Like
No.
you didn't want to make the move because it's not in your
Mm-hmm.
fucking nature.
Well,
to do it.
that's also-
Whereas my strategy should have been to be more tactful, and I think I could have probably wooed you there and got other people there, but I went back to my default, which is bully everyone in sight and try and get you to do what you want, and it just backfired.
I was
on
gonna
me.
bring that
You
up.
kept
Yeah.
being like, I was thinking about it, where you kept being like, we got to vote Rone out. We got to vote Rone out. It's the right move. And then you keep telling me, like, it's the right move. It's the right move. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not a stupid person.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to make the wrong move.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
I don't
different
understand
thing.
why.
I
That's
feel
like
why,
that's like
though?
you're going like, there's a cliff, there's a cliff, there's a cliff. I'm not going, there's not a cliff. I'm going, like,
But
Right,
why
right.
though? That's what I still don't understand. Why would you not vote Rone off?
I don't know. Just all the outside factors. Known him a long time. New York,
Yeah.
that alliance. We have a new show together. That certainly played a factor. Like all the reasons we all make decisions all played in. And I was like, I was gonna vote for him next time. I made him the promise to his face. I will get you to the merger.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna vote him out. But like I was just sticking. I just. When people ask me something and I tell you I'm going to do it, I just do it.
Right.
It's just the
For
easiest
sure.
thing to do. That's not out of being a good person. It's just out of being lazy. It's just more confusing to do anything else.
It's easier to not lie in that situation.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
just easier
Yeah.
to not lie.
My question is that I do think that someone is kind of getting away scot-free here and has been this entire game. And we kind of get into it with this latest episode where you leave and there's the Ring of Fire and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And
that
that's
was
Brandon
great.
Walker. Brandon Walker
Brandon-
totally fucked you.
Brandon's the one who fought. Yeah, Tommy
Yeah.
apologized to me. Rone came up and apologized to me. I'm like, you guys didn't fuck
Brandon
me.
Walker
Brandon
is like
fucked me.
quietly
he was supposed to be
playing like
our
a
original
scumbag.
three.
Yeah.
But that's also that's an issue I have with the show that is part of the whole Barstool universe and stuff like that. Like the other Survivor starts when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm aware that this Survivor starts beforehand, but I didn't realize it starts beforehand where like everyone's making promises with everybody.
Yeah,
I
but
made none.
I would
I,
say
I made
Honestly made none.
I made
Wait.
one. There was one phone call. Pat called me. I was at the gym. He goes, "Hey, me, you, Brandon Walker, Nick Tarani." I went, "Done." We never talked about it again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that people were coming in with like 15 alliances. Like
Well,
that's
I
crazy. to
think
me.
too, though, that is a little over exaggerated in the way that like everyone talks about it for a long time leading up to it, whether they admit to it or not. Like
Right.
everyone's at least a conversation of like, so you want to work together? Like as even as a joke, like
Right.
it will come up. It's just the nature of things. How seriously you take that, I think, is totally dependent on who it is. It seems like people like Tommy or Rone or maybe even Brandon Walker were taking these like long time alliances that were formed ahead of time and like really sticking to them.
Yeah.
But
Which is
a
what I
lot
was
of-
doing. If I made you a promise before the
For
show,
sure.
that was a promise. And
but
then
a lot of the time it's like you show up and then the game starts and everything goes out the window. You're like, oh no, none of this. Like I have to rework my entire game. It totally depends on what tribe you're on.
Right.
Like it's almost like the bare bones of an alliance until the game actually starts. But it does work
See, I work-
against
I
like
work-
certain people, the real tight friendships. Like this is a very tight knit group of friends outside of work playing this game.
Here's
Yeah.
what they should have done is what they should do next time they do this is Dave should send out, be like, every content person in this company needs to put a hold for a week and a half in May. Do
Yeah.
nothing for a
Yeah.
week and a half in May. And then the night before the game starts, you get the text, you're on the show, you get on, you fly off.
yeah,
Honestly,
And he should
that'd
send that
be
out.
pretty sick.
He
That'd
should
be
send
pretty
that out
sick.
like now so people forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, you're good, you're good, you're good. Everyone on a plane, they show up so they can't do it because
That'd
the
actually be
friendships
a
fuck
good-
things
that's
up.
a good idea.
I understood that, but like the way I play it is like if I made a promise before the show,
Yeah.
that's my promise. That's the real one. I make once I'm on the show, I'm playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and Tommy might lie to each other, me and Rome might lie to each other, but like I made my promise before the show. That's the one that I go with.
Yeah.
We were too transparent about it was so obvious that we had an alliance.
Oh well, for sure.
I was like,
But
oh, this is my
people,
bud, right?
people
I was
also
like,
know,
what?
like people know you guys are close friends. Like that also, not only does that that help in the game, but also make things difficult when it comes to like strategy and stuff. But everyone in the game knowing each other so well and knowing the friendships is really difficult. Like everybody knows that like Marty and Dana are best friends.
Right,
So
right.
it's
Right.
like if they weren't in an alliance, it'd be like, okay, yeah, really,
Yeah,
you're not in an
like,
alliance with your
I
best
don't
friend.
think there
like
was
that's
a way
bullshit.
to convince people that you and I weren't.
No,
playing together.
like
Right.
that would be
Especially
crazy.
because I was openly talking about it.
Of course.
I just go and I start
But
being
even if you
outright
weren't-
homophobic.
Yeah, right.
He's so
Like, you were like,
gross.
dude, we've really fallen off. Like honestly, I don't know if you guys ever watched Traders, but on season of Traders last year, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski were on, and they
Oh,
are
I
literally
love-
best friends. Like, and figure skating, life, everything for 20 years, they're best friends. They show up on the show and they're like avoiding it. They're like, we don't want anyone to know that we know each other. So the whole first half of the show, they're like avoiding each other, like meeting up in the hallway to like do this, like miss you, like stuff like that. And nobody caught on because no one really knew who they were.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it was like, we're actually best friends, like whatever. And everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it.
You may have noticed we host the Olympics together every
Yes,
4 years.
like,
Yeah,
so
right.
dumb. Like these people were so dumb, but unfortunately for you guys, the people that you're playing with are not that dumb, and
No.
they do know that you guys hang out and work together all the time. So it's really no surprise. But I think too, I wanted to ask you both, how did it feel being on that like can't lose tribe for the whole first half of this game?
Oh, it
Because
felt great until
Yeah.
fucking Rone came in,
Well,
and I'm
my-
begging for my life, get him out, and
Dude.
no
I'm
one
kind
would
of
get
wondering.
him.
I'm kind of wondering though, like this, because I was in a similar position last season where we just kept winning and winning and winning, and ultimately I think it bit a lot of us in the ass because we couldn't get rid of people. Like we were stuck with that group. So
Right.
do you think if you maybe lost earlier, you could have eliminated some of the people that were gonna eventually turn on you?
I guess I don't know. I'm
Question.
really.
That's a really good question.
Thanks,
This-
I'm really good at my job.
This game is like I'm just not good at it. Like, which sounds like such a cop out and sounds so easy, but like I've thought about it a lot since I was voted out.
Yeah.
That like it's as hard for me as if I was like, Kelly, do 50 push-ups right now. Like
Yeah,
it's
no
just
way.
it's just
No.
like it's just not how I work.
And that was
It's-
rude, by the way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one can do 50 push. I chose 50 intentionally.
Kidding.
But like
Says
it would be it
Also
would be
can't
but like it's just not how I like even when we start talking about the conversations like the jury house was even worse for me than the game because the game
yeah,
at
yeah.
least you get to play games and it's fun. Like the jury house is just people. Did
Oh
you
my
know?
fucking
Did you know if I
worst.
did this? Did you know if I did that? I'm like we're all in the house. Shut the fuck up and let's
worst
talk about
place.
something else.
Yeah.
The worst place.
But like listening to it ever since then, like I try and think about it, and I'm just not smart enough. But to answer the question, I guess it would have helped. I don't. I also think like I think if we voted out, I think if we lost more, I think you and I were gone earlier.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Maybe,
And
yeah.
Tate had a good, and also, sorry, Tate, I killed you in that confessional. My bad.
whatever.
I don't
Sorry for
actually.
what? Sorry for
Whatever.
what?
I'm
Don't
not sorry,
even.
but it's like I was going at him pretty good.
fair,
I don't
barely.
actually think all those things.
Yes, you
Some
do.
of them I do.
It's like to lie. You don't have to lie.
What did you say? I lost my train of thought.
I forget. But I'm just gonna pile on yours. The Tate thing. That I do feel like that in the game. I've heard in my episode they made it seem like I ripped it up because Tate had it. Is that
No.
true?
Well,
Oh, yeah, no, they
actually,
did,
Can I be
yes,
honest?
yeah.
It did kind of seem that way, and I almost texted you like thanks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if that was real, but like,
Oh, that was pure laziness.
know,
Is why
no,
we
but
did
It
yeah,
was
of
no,
course.
it wasn't lazy. So
I knew that it wasn't because of
I
that.
do want to explain that too because Kirk was texting me about it yesterday, and he's like, "You're an idiot. You got to play that idol." So
no, I disagree. But anyway,
when I found the idol, I was with Dante.
yeah,
Dante and I were together. I don't know if that got depicted, but like Dante and I found it together.
yeah.
I voted Dante out 10 minutes later. So I was like,
I was
I was
trying
like-
hard to keep him. I was like, the party isn't booked yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't booked the pride parties yet. Keep him in.
Yes.
but so I voted him out 10 minutes later, and I was like, well, he's going to tell everybody I have it, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I was also like, this doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So A, everyone's going to know I have it. B, it doesn't make a ton of sense. So my best bet is
It was a comprehension issue.
shore up 100%.
Basically, yeah.
And
Well,
I was
it was
like,
a complicated situation.
and so I was like, my best bet with this, because A, everyone's going to know, and B, because I don't really get it, is just tell everybody on my team and shore up that relationship. Like, make
I
it.
thought that was a smart move.
Make it
I thought
like
so too.
my only pitch, my literal only pitch in this game is I'm gonna make it as hard as I can for you to write my name down.
Yeah.
And I feel like I threw it 110 miles an hour. It's just fucking Brandon and Tommy put it on Lansdowne.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was-
Well, right.
Yeah,
because-
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
They just did not give a fuck. I think too, like, first of all, I was cracking up. And yes, at this point, with both episodes that have premiered this week, the people that were eliminated were you two, Tate.
Who will be on next week?
Tate will be on next week. You spoke with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Tate will be on next week, and then Nikki was eliminated, and
that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
So
we're sure on that.
we're sure on that.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, we're sure on that.
This
we
is
just
the end
watched
of
it.
surviving for me. As
Yeah.
long as I get through
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode
Yeah.
and I didn't spoil
Yes.
anything, that's more important
Those
than winning.
people,
Yeah.
those people are done. So we will talk to Tate. We already spoke with Nikki. We you know, we'll probably.
You
we'll
can only
probably
listen
wait.
to so many Drake quotes.
yeah.
One episode.
So
But
we
the
will
Tate
we will have
stuff-
Tate on, but I was gonna say I was laughing at his. Unfortunately, I was laughing at him going up to people being like, man. I could do it just half an idol. I'm like, oh yeah, no one's gonna know what you're talking about there.
No, that was
And I'm like,
that was a scene out of a
this-
Disney
you
movie.
clocked it
I was there like
immediately.
this. He goes half an idol. I go, oh really?
You were like, oh,
Yeah.
why half an idol? Like within seconds you clocked it, and he thought it was so slick. But I was really cracking up, and I was kind of hoping for the moment that he would get around you to say that, but it had already gotten to you before he got the chance to like test the
Yes.
waters
I don't
around
think
you.
it did though. Like I think I don't remember, but this is how little it mattered.
Yeah.
I think I ripped it up before I knew.
I think so too.
I
Based
think-
on your outfit and the editing, it kind of looks
Yeah,
like.
I think I
You
ripped it up
did
the night
because I
before.
said don't tell him that we ripped it so we can keep him on edge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I did. I was gonna rip it up no matter what because that was
Yeah.
my move. Was like make my team really like me.
Of course.
That was my move the entire time because I don't.
Yeah.
My only move is like get other people to not play as well. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I kept telling you like stop talking to other people. Well, you don't
Yeah.
talk to other people.
yeah.
I'm telling
Just
you.
sabotage. Your move is actually sabotage.
I'm telling you, watching the way that people played in the last two games, I never played Survivor before. Watching
Yeah.
the way that people played,
yeah,
I
I
think if there were, and you're gonna make fun of me, I think if there were like 2 or 3 things I did differently,
Yeah.
if I played my alliance
Always. We all
close to the
say
chest.
this.
Yeah, dude. If the
there's
Pats
just
scored a
one
few
or
more
two more
touchdowns,
things
they'd
you
win the
said.
game.
Let me finish. There are 2 or 3 things I could have done differently that I probably would have been able to get through. Like everything was too out in the open for me, and I hate.
This is such a funny part of surviving is that people get out and
Yeah.
they're like, "Man, I was almost there." It's
I
like,
was.
Always.
I
You
was.
were 9th out, dude.
Dude,
you
no
weren't even
way. I
close.
made didn't I make the top 6? Or was
No,
I? Top
I
No,
was 10th
you
out. You
were-
were 9th out.
you were
You
That's
Nice.
pretty
close.
good. So I made it halfway.
Halfway's not bad.
And I
Halfway's
do
not
want to say
bad.
this.
You made
I
it to
fucking,
the final merge.
I fucking hate when people say, I believe, when people do their confessionals, I'm just not good at this. Shut Tommy, you're the best person we have at this.
Yeah,
Brandon
yeah.
Walker, you're good at this. Tate never said that. He's good at this. All these
Yeah.
people claiming like they don't know how to play the game. You're all very good at this.
I know.
Everyone in this fucking office is a liar.
I don't
Everyone
think
knows how to
Brandon's
play.
that good. I
Oh,
believe
I think
Brandon when he
Brandon's
says that.
good.
I
I
don't.
think-
I haven't. I watched this episode,
Yeah.
the last night's or tonight's episode. That's I saw 1 and 2, and then I every time I see myself, I'm like, you fucking doofus. Like I saw it
Yeah.
today. Like in
I
this
couldn't
episode,
stand the episode where I got voted out.
when it's
I
up
was
to me
like
and the jury,
it was
and I'm like,
crawling.
I'm like, fucking get that guy off the TV, dude.
I know. Nothing's worse than watching yourself
Bro,
lose.
it
it's
is.
just like, it's a real
Especially
It's
humbling
not
watching
even
yourself
lose.
get
It's just
played.
be
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's just like he's a fucking idiot. It's like
Yeah.
whatever. But the Brandon, I believe like he was kind of playing it the way I played it the first season, where he was like kind of just sitting in this mostly sports room.
Yeah.
Which I think that's kind of him covering up for the fact that he's probably not that great at it either.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, but I don't know. If he says it, I believe him.
I think that his issue, and I think we're starting to see it in this last episode that just premiered, is lack of patience. He has no patience for anybody or anything, and I'm wondering if that's going to be an issue.
Well, that's why
Because
he's had such
he's
a
just
high
kinda,
turnover with
bullying
producers.
everyone
He's
and like
very-
but he hasn't said shit until now. Like he has been laying low, and now he's kind of piping up. And
Yeah.
but he's like the way he was kind of like whatevering Nikki Smokes for a while. I was like, okay.
Well, he had a good
He
moment.
tries to speed everything up.
When he was talking in his confessional, sorry to interrupt you, he was
No,
like,
no.
Pat's telling me to gun for whoever.
Yeah.
He goes, but I think Pat's gonna vote me out. And I was like, he was like, I'm playing the game. I'm looking out for my ass too.
He's so-
And I was like, God,
Yeah.
I tell
You
you,
have a
makes me
really
laugh.
good Brandon
I
Walker
haven't-
impression. Like, he
Brandon
does
Walker,
that sometimes.
He did the what was it when Nikki Smokes
He's
Nikki Smokes was
fantastic
trying to
to
get him
work
to do something. He goes, "Why are you hollering?"
Yeah.
I wish-
there was one part where it was like Nikki was trying to do some like work some shit to get Dana out, and he's like walking by Brandon Walker, and he like turns his back to him, and he's like, "Walk behind me," and he, like, yells at him to go.
Yeah, that's-
and he's like, and he spins around and he goes, "Your what does he say? Your counterpoint has
Gains
motion."
steam.
Yeah,
Gains-
yeah,
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 yeah.
Your counterpoint's gaining steam. He like does the 360 and then walks away. And I just want to reiterate that like every minute of this and this company and all of these people is just theater. Everybody is performing. Everyone is on a stage, and everyone's the biggest diva you've ever seen. It's like incredible.
1000%.
The theatrics are like my favorite part. Like
I
that's
could have
why
done
I
without
like
the
this.
fucking Ozempic. We could have
We could have
saved
well,
7
Dana could have
7
pissed his
minutes on
pants
that.
this time. There are
That's
too many.
true.
middle of something, so we had to do something. God forbid. You know what
That
I mean?
game was so I was out on Ring of Fire, which I should have like focused more. In my head, I had already resigned to the fact that I was going to be out. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh.
Ring of Fire was a cool thing.
Very cool. And
Yeah.
then the second challenge where they were tossing beanbags.
I loved that.
That was a good one.
That was great. But
Yeah.
the one that I really liked was the one after that, where they were sitting around and they would draw a
bluff.
card.
Yeah.
They draw a card and they would have to talk to the person's name there, and
Mm-hmm.
then they would either bluff or tell the truth about what's on their other card. That I think would have been really fun.
I
to
think
play.
I could play that game. I've never played that game. That's the first time I'm ever seeing it. I think I could play that game for 10 hours straight. Like that, that looks like so much fun. And I am not a game. You guys both know I am not a games person. I actually fucking hate games, and like notoriously.
Really?
But that is such a like yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought you liked like.
No, I despise games. Like
Oh,
I want to
alright.
sit around and drink and talk. Like that's all I
Oh,
ever
oh,
do.
fuck it.
The
Hit
second
me
someone
with a
says,
drinking
"Let's play
game."
a game," I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
literally
Hey, let's
hate
play
playing
Catan.
games.
Like,
No.
yeah.
Oh, Pat,
But that's-
I
that's-
Fuck
fucking
outta
hate
here.
Catan. My friends made me fucking play that game. I hate it. It's
I'm not
so
gonna
overly-
learn while I'm poisoning my brain.
That's what I'm saying. There's just too many moving parts. Whatever. So that game was simple. Are you telling the truth or are you lying? And I could play that game for 100 hours.
I
And
like
I thought
that game.
I loved how that played out. All of them, like they each individually had really good strategies, and,
Yes.
and Tommy ended up winning immunity on that one.
Yep.
For being the best
lie.
strategist
But
because he didn't lie.
That was when he said that, when he's like, if I just tell the truth, I can't
Yeah.
lose. I was like, yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt with our stuff, where it was like, that's why I wish they showed a wide of our, when we get into the second tribe, when it goes from 3 to 2, because everyone started getting jacked up. We saw Rone. And I don't think I got excited because I was like, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
Really? That's so I'll have to go back and look. That's so
You knew you had a
funny.
target on your back.
I knew Rone was going to do what he did. I knew Rone was
Yeah.
going to break us apart, but I was like, fuck. I was like, anyone else, because that person would have been gone right away.
Yeah.
I knew we weren't going to have the numbers to get him right away, and I was like, that's it. It's over.
It was such a funny exchange watching, because as is everything in Survivor, it's like a game of telephone. But him coming out and talking to the both of you, being like, "I'm the new guy, like probably on the chopping block, right?" Like he almost baited you guys into being like, "Well, yeah, you're the new guy, so sure." Like you never said his name, you never were like, "Yup, fuck you." Like none of that ever happened. But he spun that casual conversation of like, "Yeah, you are the new guy, but like also maybe Dante, who knows?" Like I actually think even he brought up Dante. Like you guys didn't even, and then he just tore apart the entire team.
Well,
based
he's
on,
playing- Rona's
based
playing
on
a hell
that
of a
30
game.
second exchange. It's just that
But
was
al-
something else.
But also there are other, like Rona's playing a great game right now. Tommy's playing a great game. I think Marty and Dana are playing a great game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think everyone who is in the game now, I
Yeah.
think I went out kind of where I thought I was going to go out. It was like eventually I'm not close enough with the people there, and it's like I'm too much. They can always use the physical
squeeze
threat
out.
aspect.
Yeah.
But the people who are in now are fucking good.
They're all best friends. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see how it unfolds because truly, like these people, they're in each other's weddings. They're going on summer vacations together. Their wives are friends.
Yeah,
like there's like
yeah.
a lot of
That is
factors.
a big one right there,
There's like
yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of factors
Yeah.
here. Yeah, like there's a lot of shit kind of in here. And but I also wanted to bring up, what do you guys think about? I want to talk about Tommy for a second because I do think that he is, I didn't notice it at first, but when he had the conversation with Marty about like, hey, he said something along the lines of like, I need to switch up my game style because these are all my friends and like I can't play like I typically do. I'm like screwing people over, whatever. I think it was like literally after he screwed you over in your face. So he decides like, I'm too sick to my
They
stomach
must
for
have
this
made
now.
it look some way that, because like I didn't feel that at all. I didn't
just,
feel
like,
Tommy's.
I mean, he didn't actively like fuck this guy, but he didn't, he wasn't voting in lockstep with you. So
Yeah.
he, by default was against you and is probably the reason you're out.
Right.
And Brandon Walker as well. But so Tommy has this conversation with Marty that's like, I'm playing real. I want to play as friends. I want to like have a good game, a trustworthy game, like all this stuff. He has this big like real talk combo with Marty. And from my perspective, I'm watching this and I'm like, I know Tommy personally, and I'm like, some of this looks genuine. Like, it sounds like Tommy's being real, but this is a game of Survivor, so it's obviously a strategy. Like, it has to be whatever. And he's like, setting up the stage to pull the wool over all of his friends' eyes. But it seems like he's kind of being pretty consistent with this, like, honesty friend thing. So, and that's like a totally new avenue for Tommy. So I'm curious to see
he
how that
switched his
goes.
gameplay. Said he wanted to play with his heart. Wanted to play, pull on people's heartstrings rather than.
Right, which in
strategy.
itself is a strategy. Like, let's not forget, last year, Rone literally swore on his dead dog, Taria, that he wouldn't, like, do something, and I forget what it was. Like, this is, pulling on heartstrings is not, like, a new concept, but I think it is very new for him. And so I just, like, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. But from where I'm sitting, the way that the edit is looking, it still to me seems like he's got something in his back pocket. But I don't know. Like it's definitely a switch up.
There's crazy how many things before the show was coming out. I was thinking about the moments that I had with people and really funny moments and things that happen, and you always wonder what's going to make the edit and what's not. And there's so many funny moments that they have to cut out in the interest of time and story and all that and moving the show forward. But like there was one moment where Brandon was standing outside in the middle of a rainstorm, and I kind of like come out. I'm like, Brandon, and he's like, Pat, and then we talk things over. There was another moment where we were upstairs in the room. It was me, you, Dante, and you and Dante are going at it like fucking crazy. I would love for them after this is all said and done to do some sort of like cut of like missed moments. Or
I always ask
because it was
that.
fun.
I did the
You
same
and
thing last year. I
Dante-
said we need more.
You and Dante, it was like me and my brother fighting.
I went up to him at one point and I said, one of two things are happening tonight. Because he wouldn't talk to me. And I said, one of two things are happening tonight. Either you're going to talk to me or I'm going to punch you in the fucking mouth.
Did he laugh?
He didn't laugh. And he talked to me before the end of the night. But he was defiantly quiet for a long time. Where I was
We
like,
were in a
I was
room.
like, damn, I thought that was going to be pretty quick. He waited like an hour or two.
That's so funny.
It was I'm Dante, you're me. He would talk to me, and then I would talk to John, and then John would talk.
That's so
John would be like, tell him
crazy.
he's a bitch, and Italian people
I was
are gross.
I was being so mean.
It was
Italian people are
the
gross.
stuff he was saying. It was like I was in, and of course they're fighting for their lives during the challenge. I'm sitting up there with like a glass of wine. I never drink wine.
I would
I'm
be like,
listening to these guys.
You whispered to him, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I was so mad that because it was a stupid reason. It was over
Yes.
surviving Barstool.
Yes.
And that was making me mad.
Yeah.
That he was mad for a dumb reason.
Yeah.
And I didn't respect that.
Especially when
So-
you're both out. Yeah.
So you brought up. You looked at me and go, "Do you know he shaves his arms?"
Yeah. So
I
if
go, what?
if I
He
don't
shaves his arms. He shaves his
if I
arms.
don't respect
Expose
something,
him.
I will bring up every single part of you I don't respect. And I was just hitting him over the fucking head.
He goes,
with
"He's
it.
a man. He's a man."
Dante does seem to be like you'll be like I rarely see you be mean. Like you really don't like say a lot of negativity or negative things about anybody. But if Dante's in the room, like all bets are off. Like I never see you meaner than you are to Dante.
I will to his face though. I'm never mean behind his back, but to his face, I will.
Always
Yeah.
to his face. But he gives it back too. And like I think that you guys have a great relationship.
I do
Dante-
too. I
Dante
love
just,
that.
reveled
fuck
in it.
around.
Dante was like, "Just tell him I'm sad."
Yeah, that's incredible. That's amazing. That in
What's
itself
that?
is
Say
so
louder,
funny.
bitch. Say it fucking louder, bitch. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the fucking eyes and say
Yeah.
I was so mad.
And then we had to go back to the
God, that's
fucking
funny.
house, and
Yeah.
Dante had
Oh
been
yeah, how was
eliminated.
the house?
The
So
two
how was
of
the
us.
house? Because now finally we can talk a little bit about the house.
Oh, it was a
because you guys are both
nightmare.
in
It
it.
was
Oh, yeah.
truly
Nice.
I do
horrible
want to be.
experience.
I want to be careful
Be
with.
careful.
I
Don't
don't want to
mention
allude
anybody
to
else
people
that's
who
in
are
the
there.
house. Don't mention anybody else in the
No,
house.
no.
But how was the house generally?
Generally horrible. Horrible.
okay.
I wanted
Worse
to stop
than the game.
I wanted to stop talking about the game.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
It,
stop.
No,
it
of
was,
course
it
not.
was. It was. I talked more about surviving Barstool when I was outside of the house
Yeah.
than when I was playing the house. And everyone in there, like this guy, thinks they're a fucking genius who just got wronged. And
I am.
thinks-
I would. It was three moves. I was three moves.
They were
away.
all
So
two
you were
moves
talking
away.
about
They
it
were
the whole
all
time.
one move away.
Every criminal in
Danny-
jail is innocent.
Danny Jackal's like, she's like, did you even have any idea me and Tommy were working together? I was like, why would I know that? Why would I fucking know
him? Why would
that?
I care?
At this point, Smokes is out, right?
Yeah. Nikki's
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki Smokes in that fucking house. I am. At the time, I was 36. I remember hearing him at like 4:35 in the morning. And like, I think some people came back, and I was like, if this motherfucker opens my bedroom door right now,
Oh my God, no.
4:30 in the morning, him and Danny Jackie are like opening my door. They're like,
No.
"Get up!" I
No,
I turn.
death,
I pull
death.
the. I was just butt ass naked under my covers. I pull them. I go, "Get out!" I go, "Get." There is not a world in which
They're
I
like,
stand
you want
up.
to come out, get drunk, and talk about surviving Barstool? I'm like,
literally
get
no.
me a hotel or
Yeah.
send me home. This
That
is
was my-
nuts.
You had the right idea though, because you were way on the other side of the house.
Yeah, I was fucking hanging out the windows
I'm
when I
in
was
the
doing
center
it.
of the fucking
By your
living room.
neckties.
I'm not even a weed guy. I was fucking sitting there smoking weed to try and calm myself down.
I would just go sit outside alone.
It's the worst.
Just
The
fucking
house was-
ripping
the
bag
house
with
was so
Mickey
bad.
Smokes.
That was like that was like my one, like, you know, when we did it last year, it was I made it pretty far, and so I was I think by the time it was time for me to go to the house, it was only like a couple of us left that would even go there. So it had been a full house of like all the guys bitching and moaning and drinking wine and smoking cigs and all this shit, which you'd think I'd like. But I heard about it and then I got voted out and I was so pissed. And that was my there's like a video of me being like I got to go and spend time with the fucking boys. The last thing I want to do is spend time with the fucking boys. I just couldn't. And so I remember at the time talking to Tara, like literally crying to Tara. I was like, Tara, can I please go to a hotel? Because I was the only girl. And she goes, yes. And then she had to go to a hotel.
Oh, I should have done
that. The next day it was over.
Dude,
so it was like one night only.
You were mad.
I was so mad because it was like I was so relieved when I got out because like I was having fun with Surviving Barstool. And at one point, like a couple of people started bringing up like stuff that was a little too real for me. Where I was like, "Dude,
of
fuck
course,
this."
I don't
hate
know.
that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get to the people who I want to get to know. I've already gotten to know.
But like even like hey, I could do some really good stuff with my family with this money. I'm like, okay, well, fucking shit, dude.
I did that in mine.
You did that too. Yeah, a lot of people did it.
To the right before he walked Dante to the gallows.
No, you did it to me too.
And
Wait, what?
I go. Looks like mom's got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah. You're like, no. He said it mad. He was like, my mom can't retire because you have a moral compass. Like
I was pulling.
I was like, oh, get me the fuck out of here, dude. Get me out of here. And
that's vile. That is vile.
She does. She's still working to this day.
Yeah.
And,
she'll be just fine. For fuck's sake.
And so like I was like, get me out. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, thank God I don't have to talk about surviving anymore. And then I realized, I'm talking about surviving a lot more than I was before.
Yeah.
And at one point,
I was coulda, shouldas.
I was out of character basically the entire time I was in the jury house.
Yeah.
But at one point, like Danny Jackal was talking to me for like 2 hours straight, and I was like, Danny, you gotta stop talking to me. I was like,
that's the other thing. Everyone at this company can yap their fucking face.
I was like, you gotta give me like an hour and just stop talking to me for like an hour.
Did she say okay? I feel like when you tell her like she's good, you just gotta let her know.
I really did like hanging out with her. I thought she was.
No, I love Danny Jackal.
I had a good time with everybody as long as we weren't talking about surviving. It was just like because it's just so annoying to think like that people thought they were close or people that like people got out before me like, oh, I was right there. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What are you
saying? What are you talking about?
The,
you were right there.
The disparity between the youngins and the old ones. I will never forget as long as I live sitting at that first dinner, and it was the New York versus Chicago, and me and Tommy locked eyes, and we just looked over, and it's Kadek and Dana and these guys, and they're drinking, having a good time, and we were just like. You have no idea what's about to happen. I'm like
everyone's, this is this is a vacation. No, it's not.
And Tommy would whisper in my ear, he'd be like, I'm going to go work on them. And we're at dinner, we're working on each other, we're hugging each other. And then the elimination began, and that's how the show started. And now we're at a point where everything is really starting to get fucking hairy.
It's very intense. Very intense right now.
Everyone there was like, it felt like they were like, I'm trying to think how to say this.
Cisgendered?
Definitely. Way too cis. They were teams who were like, we almost won the championship. I'm like, guys, you didn't even make the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
You are
so
negative.
Talking about?
You think everyone is 1 or 2 moves away from winning.
No, you're not.
No, yes, I am.
Not when you're like the third person out.
Yeah,
like,
dude. You barely made the playoffs. You were a wild card who got your ass kicked in the first round.
I think I at least was in like the semis.
This is actually how Pat's been sleeping at night, so he's gonna have a really hard time now that we brought him this harsh reality. But that is kind of what happens, especially when there's all this money on the line. But I'll say this, like, obviously the money is life changing. People are inherently mad to get voted out of this game because yes, you're robbing someone of $250,000. Like that's fucking insane.
That's the problem too. Everyone thinks they already won, so people are playing with that $250 in their pocket.
They're like, oh my
and
god,
you're
imagine
taking it out rather
100%.
than they're gonna win it.
But I would say that, and maybe, I don't know if this is a personal thing, so I'm very competitive. I would want to win just to win way more than I want the money. Like, I want to beat everybody so fucking bad. And I think that, like, the bruised egos on top of losing out on the money is what gets people going and talking about it for years and years. Like, somewhere right now, I'm sure, I don't even know what time it is, like, Rico, he's at camp. I guarantee he's talking about surviving right now. I
Rico is
guarantee it.
in my ear.
Like, I'm surprised he's not texting about, like, he wasn't live tweeting it. Like, he's he's one of those guys too. And there's plenty of us. He's just like the easy example, but like plenty of people will still be having the conversation. No, because this is his thing. Like, he knows. There are so many, he said the other day, I went on Jerry and Terry house call, and he said that every once in a while he'll put on an old episode, like, to go to bed. He'll just, like, put an old episode on. I'm like, you're emotionally cutting. What are you doing?
That goes back to what you said earlier about everyone here is on a stage and dramatic and wants the whole world to see them bleed.
Of course, yes, literally yes. Like, everyone wants to feel downtrodden or whatever. Like, oh man, it was just about to be this. Even Clemmer's still saying pizza 4. Like, he's still, and everybody and I think Dave Portnoy is like still always talking about season 3. Like he's still, you know what
Which
I mean?
one's
Like
3?
3 was with all you guys
Oh,
here in
yeah,
New
yeah,
York.
yeah.
That was
Like,
crazy. We did it here.
Yeah,
There's
the
no
first,
room
the
for
first
anyone
three,
here.
the first 3 of them
Yeah,
were here, but the
yeah.
casts were smaller. I think that was the biggest cast. Your season 3.
I want to say it was around 14.
Yes,
something
was
like
the
that.
biggest cast that we did in this office because the first 2 seasons were only 8 people. Imagine doing it with only 8 people. That was like when I
Yeah,
did season
and
1, it was only 8 people.
And to your point about the competitiveness, it doesn't. You reach a certain point where you do start to think about it, and it's like, ooh, and then that really starts to affect your
Yeah.
judgment
Yeah.
because the money comes into play, and I could like barely smell it, and I'm like, all right, I
Yeah.
gotta go, and I'm a very competitive person,
Right.
so for me, it was the farther you go, the harder it is to get out because you can smell the fucking money.
Of course, and not only that, it's like you start, like you said, acting different, and people can sense desperation, especially for money. Like that was
Oh
when
my
I think
God,
about, like,
Tate in
season
the Ring
1.
of Fire, the
Oh
desperation.
my God, that
Shut
was
up,
that was a
dude.
full like breakdown.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen someone dismantle themselves so quickly. Like that was people have been screaming respect for his gameplay and whatever. It's like it was the slightest whisper of someone saying his name and he blew it all up. That's how it goes. Though.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. If someone's gonna take the
listen,
money
I
and the
was-
glory, but
I
people
was
want
happy-
the glory. Like let's not
Yes.
discount how bad people want that glory. 'Cause
I
that's
think that
really
is
what it
a lot of
is.
people want to win. Because I do think a lot of people go into it, and Pat, it seems like you might have done this as well because you were talking about like moments you remember. I think people go into it not just for the money, but they also go into it like, I'm going to be a star. And
100%.
here, and like,
Oh, that didn't even come across. I know I'm not a star.
but not I'm a star, but like I'm gonna have like cool moments. Like everyone gets mad about like
Oh,
why
yes.
didn't my moment get in the edit?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It didn't fucking
Why?
fit.
What about
Yeah.
the funny thing I said in confessional?
Yes,
It's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
it didn't make it wasn't that funny, I guess.
Right.
Like, sorry.
So I think that's why people
Yeah.
want to stay around longer, and they want that, and that's why it hurts their ego more. And then the edit comes out, and they're like, oh, I didn't even all that stuff I was doing for the show didn't even make it. So like, I'm not saying this right, but what I'm trying to say is like, I think people have. It's like 50-50. They want the money, but they also want the stardom
Absolutely.
or whatever,
Yeah.
the praise, the
Yeah,
Viva
yeah, yeah.
points. There it is.
They want
the
Viva
points.
But
Yes.
then that's what I'm saying. I do think that a lot of people will pretend that that's not a huge part of why they're playing so hard. And they'll be like, the
100%.
money is life changing. It's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
You want the
also,
fandom.
you want people to suck your dick for the rest of the time because you won.
It's also not life-changing money.
Yeah, it's really not. By the way, there's still taxes. There's still taxes, and yeah, I mean, you know,
It's
maybe
funny,
put it in what's everybody always telling me to get, or like a fucking Roth IRA or something.
I still have to set you up. We gotta get this Dow Jones.
You still
on the
gotta
case.
send me. I still have not set up, by the way. Like,
But
I really need to do that.
you could have
Fuck.
10. I'm getting pissed
Sorry,
thinking about it. You think about how much footage and how many things were left out of the show, and now that we're both out, you think about it. There were 24 cameras filming 18 hours a day.
Oh my god.
That's
Is that facts?
432 hours of footage for one day. They did that 7 days. So you figure you're going through for an hour, say an hour 20-minute. That's a long one episode.
Yeah.
You're going through 300 to 400 hours of footage. Not to mention the fucking mics and this and that. And
Oh,
these
yeah.
are it's just the guys in the corner
Yeah.
who are doing this. So
I don't
it was,
understand. I like truly.
It's
don't
really they
understand
deserve
it.
all
I
the
don't
credit in
get
the
it.
world. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm not noticing. You know how like the social people follow around the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever last season too, and I might be totally wrong. I don't know if I've ever seen the social clips. I feel like I only ever see the true camera clips.
Well,
Am I wrong about
I'm
that?
so fucking happy you brought that up
Okay.
because that was the issue with the jury house.
Okay.
Is that they would send social people and they would sit there with cameras. So everyone would just talk all fucking
They think
night.
they had to
Right,
talk.
right,
Well, I had to keep telling them. I was like, "This isn't going in the show." Like,
Yeah,
and this
right.
is exactly what I mean by the people who thought they were going to be stars or
Yes.
Viva points or things like that. Like,
Yes.
people were having 6-hour-long discussions.
You kept saying that.
while
You're like,
fucking
"Stop, it's
White
over."
boy Rick
Yeah.
sits there with his phone, and I'm like, "Guys, we've had 7 fucking FX3s filming us all day. You think they're just going to pop in iPhone footage?
Yeah,
like,
that's
like
kinda
where
what
do
I
you
mean,
think
like-
that this is going?"
It could be
And-
used for like storyboarding and stuff. Like maybe that's it. But I do notice like there are almost an equal amount of social people running around using their cell phones as there are regular cameras. And I don't know if I've ever seen the social footage, unless
No.
it's just really good iPhone footage that I can't tell the difference.
There
I'm not
definitely
sure.
There might
is
have been like
some,
1 or 2 clips they popped out. but-
like
Yeah.
when I ripped up the idol, when I ripped
Yes.
up the mission, that was an iPhone clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
okay.
was
okay,
that was
okay,
a social
okay.
person.
Got
So
it.
there are times it'll switch, and
That
maybe
they
you can
need
tell,
it,
maybe
yeah.
you can't.
It's
But
probably to fill in the gaps.
It's not as utilized as you would think.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, again, on like night 4 in the house, I was like, guys, I just want to watch I just want to watch a movie. Just shut the fuck
Let's just bond, you
That
guys.
is
Let's
my
just
worst.
hang out.
That is my worst nightmare, is being in a house like that and not being able to leave.
Yeah.
That was the worst. That was the worst thing in the world.
It is. It does seem to bother everybody the most, but I think it's good for the. It makes it good for a good tribal council. I feel like when you stir everybody up for a whole week or whatever, which I'm excited to see both of you on the council.
It's gonna be really good. I want to cut it here because I don't want to do too many spoilers. But there is one more thing that I want to bring up, which is probably one of the grossest things you've ever tweeted. Why are you getting a fish tank?
Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm
That's
considering it. I'm considering it. So here's the thing. I've been playing with the idea of getting a pet for a really long time, but I travel a lot, and I'm also
A fish is
fish
tanks are for children.
Are you
and
going to hear me out?
felons.
Are you going to hear me out or what? So I've been toying with the idea of getting a pet, but I'm like pretty irresponsible generally, and I'm very selfish. So it's like hard to think of an animal that is, that works with my schedule. Obviously, like, and I'm a little allergic to cats. As people are going to be pissed to hear that. They want to call me cat lady forever. I'm allergic to cats. I can't really get a cat, and so I was like, what about a fish tank? I had a fish tank growing up, a freshwater tank.
Doesn't make it
and
better.
my Nana had a saltwater tank in her house that was beautiful. So I was like, I grew up around fish tanks, and I was just thinking like, what would be a cool thing that could be in my apartment that's also like a pet, and I settled on fish tanks. So I sent out an email to like some Manhattan Fish NYC for information, and we'll see.
I don't think you can have a fish tank. Hell, you
Why
can't
not?
because that's
Seahorse
like reptile.
badass.
That's
See,
like
how fucking
reptile
cool.
level. Fish people are
I
like
like
reptile
reptiles.
people.
I
Well,
like reptiles.
Get an iguana then.
That's I was gonna
Would
say.
I get
'cause-
would you guys
so-
think? But that's like I'm a girl with an iguana. It's like I don't know.
I-
I don't know. I don't know what kind
You
of
get a
message
bearded
that sends.
dragon?
It would be kind of cool.
When you were saying fish tank, I had the iguana when I was a kid, Godzilla.
Amazing.
And
Original.
I was kind of picturing you maybe with iguana. Or
Well, here's the thing: is like snake is also on the table.
snake on the table.
I would love
Oh
a
my
snake.
god, you with a snake, I fully
I
support.
would love a snake. Okay, so maybe I'll go snake.
Dude.
But like a huge, like
I can't be
Britney
the-
Spears.
I would love a big Britney Spears snake, but I would probably get. I follow this one snake pet. It's like this little like
I'm sorry,
white snake.
On Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
You're following a snake.
I am, and it's so cute. It's like this little white snake, and he's got like red eyes, and it's in like a tank full of cherry blossoms and stuff. So it's like really cute and sweet, and I'm like, I want that. Like I have to have it. So yeah, all of these things are on the table. I am a reptile bitch. Like that is.
Oh, this is so
I
concerning to me.
love.
It really is.
I've always been tomboyish when it comes to that stuff.
the fish tank, not that I dislike or like it, just
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like for some reason when you said fish tank, I went P Diddy. Like
fuck,
right
fuck.
away.
Cribs, MTV
I was
Cribs,
like,
Not ideal.
2000.
Not
I was like,
ideal. I don't
Diddy's
want
got
any
fucking
association
fish
with
tanks out the wazoo.
They do have fish
But
tanks.
I kind of could see you as a reptile person.
It's just an interesting thing to
tarantula?
consider. And I'm looking up the prices. Some of these fish are like three grand a pop.
What?
The saltwater fish, I'm telling you, it's not like a cheap hobby. That's why I was like, it's kind of chic. Like,
But there's no way to tell if
I can
custom
see-
fish
healthy or
tank
not.
and like a literal $3,000 seahorse. Like yeah,
But then it's like, how do you tell if it's getting sick? It's like, how do
They
you
come.
check the health?
If you do it right, and this is the people that I've spoken with about it that have had these experiences, like you gotta have somebody come in like once a month and check everything, like check the water, check whatever, which I would, but also I think I would like to get obsessed with it and like get really good at it. I need something to occupy my time that's not my motherfucking phone.
Right.
And books aren't cutting it as well as I used to. Like I used to be able to just like throw my phone in the river and read a book in one day, and it was great. Now I'm having a hard time like reading
book
a
of
book.
potions and
Literally.
spells.
And now I'm like, my eyes are glazing over on the page. I'm not reading anything, and I'm just wondering, like, should I check my phone? Am I getting texts? Like, I'm addicted to my phone fully. It's like a
Oh, yeah,
sickness.
it's really bad,
And I
yeah.
think that being
Me too.
obsessed with something else greater than me, fish, snake, etc., would be good for me.
I can see you again.
That's a fair-
It
yeah,
was
that's fair.
the fish was kind of given to me with a poison pill where you pitched it as like, did you hear what she's getting? And so immediately I was
All
like,
I did was tweet, what are our thoughts on fish tanks?
No, it was shocking.
Weird or
It was
cool?
shocking.
It is
It was
shocking.
really like.
But I
Everybody
can see
replied,
you-
weird and cool. So that's
I
doesn't
can
really
see you
help.
pulling it off. Like
Thank
that because of that. I can
Thank
see
you.
You gotta
it
get it fucking huge,
a little
though.
too weird,
That's
but
what
I
I'm
can see
saying,
you
like a
making it
20-gallon tank. Like I'd really do it right.
You got a 3,000-gallon tank.
Could you imagine? My whole apartment is a tank. I have to step in and put on a.
cool. It feels like actually
Yes.
this is so outside of after Diddy being
Yeah.
my like immediate thought. My second one is like Bond villain. And that feels
Which,
you.
yeah, hello.
Yeah, that feels you.
That's,
like-
that
she's
was
like
more
Ursula.
the vibe I was thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and also Ursula. And I was like, then the water's kind of close to me. Like, I like when the water's close. Like, you
get
know.
that JFK quote.
Yeah, what is
JFK's got a beautiful quote about salt water. We used to say it all the time in high school because he delivered it in Newport. I gotta find it. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Oh, I already love it. Because if it's about saltwater,
do I have a
Newport,
phone?
and JFK.
Yeah, the
it's your
I
cinnamon
do
it.
want to just all I want is that if you do the tank, you show me first.
Of course.
Actually, I don't give a shit. Okay, whatever.
I was gonna say, all of a sudden you got all these opinions about the fish tank. You're
I
gonna
did.
come
I
over and be
just
like,
am-
"Wow, this is cool,"
You
and
know
you're gonna
why?
be jealous.
Growing
What a
up-
conversation piece! People come over, "Wow, look at these facts." I have all the facts about
That's
the
fair.
fish. I'm into that stuff.
I just want you to become. I know you're a reptile person. My weed
Yes.
dealer in high school had an alligator that he kept in his
Yeah.
bathtub called
Okay.
Chomps.
That's crazy.
that we let go in the Charles
I know
River
my
when
limits.
it got too big.
I know my limits. Actually,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't want you to
snake
go
might
down that
really be the
road.
move. Snake might be the
Snake's
move more
pretty
than the
solid,
fish. It'd be a lot less work.
Venomous though, you need venom.
Be a lot less
And you
work.
can let it go on people.
Yeah. The thing about snakes though is that they always get out.
Yes.
You know, we gotta. I have like next door.
Wait, real
oh,
quick.
yeah,
Sorry,
read the
JFK quote.
Yeah.
All of us have in our veins the exact same percentage of salt in our blood that exists in the ocean, and therefore we have salt in our blood, in our sweat, and our tears.
Wow.
We are tied to the ocean. When we go back to the sea, whether it's to sail or to watch it, we are going back to from whence we came.
I'm literally gonna cry my eyes out. That is a beautiful quote, and another argument for the fucking moon. Okay,
All right,
the moon
listen.
controls the tides.
You fucking you convinced me. You convinced me.
Full moon is this Friday.
Full moon is this Friday.
Sagittarius moon.
Sagittarius moon. New episodes of Surviving Barstool come out this coming Sunday, and I believe either Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll be back with another recap with Tate next week. Fights. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Thank
you so
you for
much,
having me, guys.
John.